Good morning, everyone. This is Pranav from 21st Century IAS Academy, and today, as usual, we are going to see high probable topics for the upcoming APPSC Group 1 and Group 2 examination. As we have already done with our June 2023 current affairs, today we are going to see our July month 2023 current affairs. So, be patient to look into all the important articles which we are going to see for today, and please write down your inputs in the comment section, and please don't forget to subscribe the page. So today we'll be seeing around 18 article as part 1 of our July 2023 current affairs. So we'll be moving on to the first article. The first article says, in the month of July 2023, there was an India France maritime partnership exercise. So, there are a few facts which we have to keep in mind regarding this particular article, and it is my work to tell you what all facts are important for your APPSC Group 1 examination and Group 2 examinations. Okay, so the article says Indian naval ship INS Rana and INS Sumeda. These are two naval vessels from the Indian side which participated in this joint bilateral maritime exercise which took place in Bay of Bengal, which took place in Bay of Bengal. Okay. See, we all know that India and France are one of a friendly nations. Time and again in United Nations Security Council, whatever resolutions are brought by India, it is France which is supporting the resolutions which is brought by India. So this particular maritime exercise or any military exercise, be it army or be it navy or be it air force exercise, it is of a strategic and geopolitical importance for both India and France. Okay, so two vessels from the Indian side, one is INS Rana and the other is INS Sumeda, along with its French counterpart naval ship Surkov. Naval ship Surkov jointly took place in a maritime exercise in Bay of Bengal. Okay, so what is this INS Rana and what is this INS Sumeda? This INS Rana is a guided missile destroyer. It is an Indian naval ship named Rana. It is a guided missile destroyer. Whatever may be the missile, be it a ballistic missile or be it a cruise missile, fired from land or water or air, from whatever source it may be, it is well versed in destroying the incoming missiles. And the second one is INS Sumeda, which is an indigenously built, meaning built in India. It is an offshore patrol vessel. Okay, it is its work is to do patrolling. The French Navy's frigate. You come across one word called as frigate here. So what is a frigate? Frigate is a fast moving or swiftly moving light-weighted naval vessel. So from the French side, it was Lafayette class frigate Surkov, which participated in this bilateral maritime exercise. Maritime exercise meaning an exercise which happens in sea. I hope you all know about it. So frigate is a fast-moving vessel. Frigate named Surkov participated in this particular bilateral maritime exercise. Okay, so what all components were part of this exercise? What all was done bilaterally so that there was some sort of a joint cooperation developed? First thing is there was a tactical maneuvering. Maneuvering is just changing the direction of the sailing vessel. So tactical maneuvering, replenishment at sea approaches, air defense against fighter aircraft. If there's any enemy fighter aircraft, how to combat it or how to defend it. So that sort of exercises and all were undertaken. So where again this particular question we have already answered it. Where this particular exercise took place, it took place in the Bay of Bengal. Okay, so this partnership signifies a strong navy to navy links, interoperability between the two countries' defense forces, the French defense forces and the Indian defense forces, might as well a strong bond between the Indian Navy and the French Navy. So this alone is not an exercise. Both India and France are taking part in a number of exercise in all the defense sector. Here I have given you a list of exercise where India and France are mutually cooperating. First exercise is Varna, which is a naval exercise which is already there between India and France. Second is France India joint exercise, which is a military exercise. And third one is a Garuda, which is an air force exercise. So please make a note of it, which you might find in your APPSC Group 1 and 2 question papers. So apart from that, there is few other information which you need to know about India and France bilateral relationship. Recently, Prime Minister Modi was visited or was invited to France to participate in this Bastille Day parade. What is a Bastille Day parade? That I will be telling you. But please note that there were a few outcomes of this visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to France, and few the outcomes are in different categories. First is your political front, and second is your scientific cooperation, and what were all the institutional cooperation between the two nations, and cooperation on strategic areas and sustainable development. So, a few important things I will be uh, info- giving you an information of. Apart from that, this particular document will be put in the description. Please download the file and keep it in handy so that when you watch the lecture, it will be a bit helpful for you. So, there was a strategic roadmap horizon for 2047. We all know 2047 marks Amrit Kal. Amrit Kal is a Amrit Kal is a vision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, meaning 2047 marks 100 years of independence. So there was a strategic partnership horizon 2047 which was signed between both the nations. Might as well there was a roadmap for India France cooperation in the Indo Pacific region. India has a policy, India has a foreign policy called as peaceful and law based Indo Pacific. Okay, so India and France collaborated it. Why France collaborated it? Is France an Indian Ocean nation? No, right? So there is one island called as Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean region, which is part of France. So for that reason, India and France had a cooperation in Indo-Pacific arena also. There are two space agencies which also came together to have a collaboration. One is New Space India Limited. One is New Space India Limited, which is a part of India, an Indian space and subsidiary of an Indian space research organization, ISRO, along with ARINE, ARIANE, ARINE Space Network. So they came up with a partnership for technological development, okay, and commercial launch service. In the area of scientific cooperation, there are a number of letter of intent which was signed between the two nations on different sectors. You please go through it, okay. Might as well there was a few institutions which also cooperated, but from both India and French side. From the India side, it was Prasar Bharati, and from the French side, it was France Media Monde. So please go through this document, which might come in handy for your preparation. Okay. So now we'll be moving on to the second article of the day, which says Prime Minister launches National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Mission from Shahdol in Madhya Pradesh. So, National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Mission from Madhya Pradesh. For your information, this particular mission was actually announced in the Union Budget of 2023. When was it announced? It was announced in the Union Budget of 2023. So, what is the aim of this particular sickle cell anemia elimination mission? So, the aim is to address all those challenges which are posed by this particular disease called as sickle cell anemia. And for your information, in your June 2023 current affairs already we have discussed some basics about sickle cell anemia. So please go through that video lectures also. Might as well update yourself from this particular content. Okay, this particular national sickle cell anemia is a part of a national health mission. Okay, it is a part of national health mission under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Okay, so that there is a target of this mission. The target of the mission is to eliminate sickle cell disease by the year 2070. So the target of the mission is to eliminate sickle cell disease by the year 2070. So there is a focus area for this particular mission. This particular mission has a focus area of total of 17 districts and 17 states and a total of 278 districts. The name of all those 17 districts have given here. There are a few exceptions. Okay, Jammu and Kashmir is not part of the list. So I will let you know a few states which are not part of the list. You please go through the document for our group examination sake. We have to keep in mind that Andhra Pradesh and Telangana are part of this particular mission. So Jammu and Kashmir is not part of this particular mission. Himachal Pradesh is not part of this particular mission. Punjab is not part of this particular mission. So apart from that, please go through all those states which are part of this National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Mission. Okay, so I'll be telling you a few features of this particular mission. The mission focuses on awareness creation. What is this particular disease about? How a sickle cell anemia happens? How important hemoglobin is for any human being? Okay, so this mission focuses on awareness creation. Might as well universal screening of approximately 7 crore people who are between the age group of 0 to 40 years, and might as well those people who are affected in tribal areas. Okay, so here there is one flow chart which tells you what a sickle cell disease is. So this is particular disease is based on your red blood cells. Okay, so red blood cells are actually this particular in shape. Okay, they are actually circular in shape, and when the hemoglobin gets affected, this particular red blood cells takes the form of this sickle. Okay, takes the form of the sickle. If the red blood cells are healthy, they can easily move throughout the body, throughout your smaller veins and nerves and all those things. But if they take a sickle shape, they will not be able to move freely throughout the body. What will happen is, during the course of the movement, the cell may break down, or they may come in contact with any other infected cells, and they'll block the arteries and veins, and it will lead to something called as sudden onset of pain, and that condition is called as your sickle cell anemia. And there are a few treatment courses which are available for this particular condition. In your previous classes, June 2023 current affairs, I have already discussed you. Blood transfusion is one treatment. You can have stem cell transplantation or bone marrow transplantation. So you can have painkillers also. So these are few treatment conditions which are available for this particular condition. So please go through this particular flow chart which is given in your document, which might come in handy, which might be important for you. So during this particular launching ceremony, the Prime Minister also launched the distribution of 300 3.57 crores, 3.57 crore Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana cards. Okay, Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana cards in Madhya Pradesh. The purpose of distribution of this card is to have a campaign towards realizing Prime Minister's vision of reaching each and every beneficiary to ensure 100% saturation of welfare schemes. So this particular card is a kind of an health card. Okay. So on this occasion also, Prime Minister said that this campaign to eradicate sickle cell anemia will become a major mission of Amrit Kal. I told you the target year is 2047. The target year is 2047, which marks the Amrit Kal. Okay, he expressed his determination to free the tribal communities. See, tribal communities are inaccessible by most of our government agencies, by the health department, by the education department. So the tribal communities, by ASHA workers, the tribal communities are inaccessible. They live in the forested regions or hilly terrains. Okay, so they are highly prone to this particular condition of being anemic or sickle cell anemia. So you have a targeted group. Our government has a targeted group to treat this particular sickle cell anemia and completely eliminate sickle cell anemia by the year 2047. Okay, so now we will be going to our third topic of the day, called the Japan India Maritime Exercise GIMEX 2023. Okay, this particular exercise was first edition was conducted in the year 2012, and this year 2023 marks the 12th edition, sorry, or the 11th edition of this particular Japan India maritime exercise. Okay, so Indian Navy has hosted this particular bilateral India Japan maritime exercise, which took place off the coast of Andhra Pradesh at a place called as Visakhapatnam. So for that reason, this particular article becomes important for your APPSC current affairs. Okay, so this is the 11th anniversary or 11th edition of Japan India Maritime Exercise. Maritime, I already told you, it is a naval exercise. It is a type of a naval exercise. Okay, and this was the launch year. This was the 2012 was the first year of your Japan India Maritime Exercise. So this exercise will witness participation from INS Delhi, INS Kamorta, fleet tanker INS Shakti. INS means Indian naval ship. Okay, so don't confuse. INS means Indian naval ship. and few of our Indian naval ship which participated are given here. So along with INS Delhi, INS Kamorta, fleet tanker INS Shakti, a submarine also participated, and a maritime patrol aircraft P-81 participated in this particular bilateral maritime exercise. Dornier is also one of an aircraft. It is one of an aircraft belonging to our Air Force which participated in this particular exercise. Okay, it was a 6 day exercise between both the nations. So two phases, 3 and 3 other days. First phase, or the harbor phase, con, contained professional meeting, sports between the navies of both the countries, might as well social interactions between the naval forces of both the countries. Okay, the two navies will jointly hone here means sharpen. Okay, the two countries or the two navies will jointly sharpen their war fighting skills. So conducting such sort of maritime bilateral exercise will also increase the interoperability between the two countries, meaning communication, understanding, everything between the two countries through a multi-discipline operation. Okay, so this particular Japan India Maritime Exercise 2023 provides an opportunity for both the countries to learn from each other's best practices, what all strategies both countries have employed. So both country can mutually learn between this Indian Navy and also Japan Navy, so that there will be a mutual cooperation. Might as well they'll reaffirm their shared commitments towards maritime security in the region. Okay, so Japan is a Pacific Ocean country. Please go through the map. Have your map book also handy whenever international relations topics are in use. Okay, so other exercise, there are other defense related exercise between India and Japan. I have listed it down. Please look at it. There's one exercise called as Malabar. Okay, so Malabar is a multilateral exercise. Gymmex is a bilateral exercise. Bi means two. Two countries participate in this particular exercise. And Malabar, it is actually a four-country participating. There is one body called as Quad. Quad is a grouping of four nations, which includes India, Japan. Three is your Australia, and the fourth nation is your United States. Okay, so quadrilateral means four, no? So four nations have come together and formed a grouping. It is a sort of an economic grouping to overcome the dominance of China in various arena. So four countries, I've listed it here. So these four countries participate in this particular exercise called as exercise Malabar. So there is one exercise for the air force of both the nations, both India and Japan. The name of this exercise is Shinyu Maitri. Okay, there is also one another exercise called as exercise Dharma Guardian, which is a military exercise between both the nations. So we saw Jimex, which is a maritime exercise between India and Japan. We saw Shinyu Maitri, which is an air force exercise, bilateral air force exercise. We also saw Dharma Guardian, which is a military exercise between both the nations. So now we will move on to the fourth article for the day, which is Bharat 6G Alliance. So Bharat 6G Alliance, the heading or the title of the article says 6G. We all have mobile devices. We all have cellular phones. We all might have been having 4G or 5G mobile phones. No, so now India is taking a forward step to bring in 6G technology, which will be accessible, might as well, which will connect the grassroots of the country. Okay, so recently the Indian government in the month of July 2023 launched the Bharat 6G Alliance. Okay, so the Bharat 6G Alliance for the purpose of developing 6G technology in the country. So what is this Bharat 6G Alliance? Who will participate in it? What is the objective of it? What is the country trying to achieve from this particular 6G Alliance? We will be seeing. Okay, so it is a platform. It is a platform for collaboration. Who can collaborate? Anyone can collaborate. A startup can collaborate. A private company can collaborate. Government institutions can collaborate. Uh, Institutions which set standards can collaborate. So they all can come together jointly and work for the development of this particular 6G technologies. Might also instruments which are used for this, or the devices which are used for the 6G technology. Might also uh, the the platform consists of public and private companies, academic institutions, universities, or any other research institutions, standards development organizations. All these players can come together. Might as well this particular bar 6G alliance will forge synergy between 6G global alliances. If there is one alliance of the same nature in a United States or for an European Union, this particular Bharat 6G alliance can collaborate with multiple countries also. So the aim for this particular Bharat 6G alliance is to bring in all those startups and companies and also manufacturing ecosystem in a single umbrella so that they work in a collaborative manner and develop 6G technologies in India. So one another goal for this Bharat 6G alliance is to enable the country, to enable India as a global leader in future in the area of 6G technology. Okay, so where does the funding for this particular alliance or this particular technological development of 6G comes from is, so there is one thing called as Telecom Technology Development Fund Scheme. There is one scheme called as Telecom Technology Development Fund Scheme, and this scheme will contribute up around 240.51 crore of capital investment for this particular scheme. So where does this particular scheme get its fund from? That also we will be seeing right now. Okay. So there, here in this particular page, there is one transition given. Okay, so in the year of 1980s, it was just 1G where only voice call was possible. 1990s SMS as a service we got. 2000 3G evolution happened. By the year 2000, 3G evolution happened. So we were able to use our internet. And by the time of 2010, there were 4G networks where mobile applications, a lot of mobile applications eased our living. By the year of 2020, it is an era of Internet of Things, smart city, virtual reality, and augmented reality. So, what is an Internet of Things or virtual reality and augmented reality? It is a umbrella topic in itself, which you will be reading in your science and technology portions of your syllabus. So the next decade, the decade of from 2021 to 2023 is going to be a decade of wireless brain computer interactions. Wireless brain computer interactions. So there is one organization of Elon Musk. We all know Elon Musk. He is coming up with a project called as Neuralinks. He is coming up with a project of Neuralinks. Neuralink is nothing but in a human brain they are going to insert a chip, and via that chip humans are going to interact with any devices, be it a mobile phone, be it a laptop, be it an electric fan in your home. You can start interacting with it. If you want to write a mail to your boss or to your team leader, you can write a mail also by just thinking and not literally using your devices. So please go through this flow chart of or evolution from 1G to 6G. Okay, so where this telecom technology development fund get its funding from or when was it launched is given in this particular tabular column. Okay, so it was first launched in the year 2022. It was first launched in the year 2022, and there is something called as universal service obligation fund. So there is one fund in this telecom sector. Okay, all these telecom operating companies or telecom service providers, out of their aggregated revenue which they earn every year, they have to allocate 5% of their total aggregate revenue to this universal service obligation fund. So what this universal service obligation fund will do is it will allocate a portion of that funding to this telecom technology development fund. Okay, and this particular telecom technology development fund is utilized for the development of your 6G technology. Okay, so here look at this point. Under this 5% of annual collections from universal service obligation fund, already this telecom service provider are going to provide 5% of their aggregate revenue to the universal service obligation fund, and from that fund 5% is going to go to this telecom technology development fund. Okay, for research development of technologies, product development, and also service development. Okay, so the third point is the scheme is envisaged to bring or to bridge the digital divide. Rural India might be having some sort of a telecom technology, might as well urban India might have been having some upgraded version of a telecom technology. So there is a gap between rural and urban India, and to bridge this particular gap, this particular fund is envisaged. Okay, so we are moving on to this next topic, or fifth topic of the day, which is performance grading index. The fifth topic of the day is performance grading index. Recently, in the month of July 2023, the Union Ministry of Education released a report called as Performance Grading Index 2.0. Performance Grading Index 2.0 for states and union territories for the year 2021-2022. See, this Ministry of Education has already released this performance grading index for different states and union territories, and for in various categories. Say for example, hilly states and all those region, union territories, small states, bigger states category. Now this particular Ministry of Education has released it for district level. Okay, so the Department of School Education under the Ministry of Education, the Department of School Education and Literacy has released this performance grading index for districts, has released this performance grading index for districts, which is a combined report for the year 2020, 21, might as well 21 and 22. Okay, so what is this performance grading index? What does it assess? Okay, it assesses the performance of school education system at the district level. It assesses the performance of school education system at the district level. So it is an 83 indicator based performance grading index. So totally there are an 83 indicators, and this particular data for all these indicators is filled at the district level through an online portal. It is filled at the district level through an online portal. Okay, so what will it help, or how it will be useful? So this particular indicators will actually be helpful for those district or the education departments of the district to identify the gaps which are, where there is a lapse in this school education sector, and fill in those gaps. Okay, uh, so far a report for 2018 and 19 is released, and might as well 2019 and 20 is released this particular month, July 2023. A report for 2020 and 21, might as well 21 and 22 is released. Okay, so the total weightage is for 600 points. The total weightage is for 600 points across, as we have seen already, 83 indicators, across 83 indicators. Okay, which are grouped in 6 categories. So a total of under 6 categories. Okay, so what are those 6 categories are given here? The first category is the outcomes, the learning outcomes. The second category is effective classroom transaction between the teachers and the students. The third category is infrastructure, facilities, and students entitlements. The fourth category is school safety and the child protection. Fifth category is digital learning, and the sixth category is governance process. Okay, and these 6 categories are further subdivided into 12 domains. Just get to know that alone, that is more than enough. Okay, so what this particular performance grading index at the district level does is, so they give a total of 10 grades. Okay, 10 grades. We all get grades in our semester examination or in our school examinations, right? So this particular index grades the entire districts in 10 grades. So the highest grade, meaning if you score 90% and above, that is the first grade or the highest grade. It will be called as Daksh. It will be called as Daksh. And the last grade is the 10th grade, where the districts score less than 10% of the marks, which it will be called as Akanshi 3. So the top grade is called as Daksh, and the lowest grade is called as Akanshi 3. So totally there are 10 grades. Please keep in mind, totally there are 10 grades. Okay, so this particular performance grading index has actually released the data. Data is given in this particular 2 images given in your document. So 3 states, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala, have actually attained a score of more than 900, meaning they have scored more than 90%. Might as well there are improvement in few of the states. Punjab, Chandigarh comes under your union territory category, and Tamil Nadu, Kerala, they are the states which have attained the top 5 position. and the states which have attained the bottom 5 position is given here. Ladakh Union Territory has attained the last position or the bottom position. I've told you there are a total of 6 categories and a total of 12 domains. So there are two major categories out of the 6 categories. The two major categories are, one is outcomes category, meaning the learning outcomes category, and the governance and management category, which comprises alone comprises 70 indicators. So a few data about this particular two important categories is given. Please go through the document provided in your description link. Okay. So the next topic or the sixth topic for the day which we will be seeing is Bastille Day Parade at Paris, France. Okay. So Bastille Day Parade. What is this Bastille Day? We should know about this Bastille Day Parade which happened in Paris, France. Okay, so we all know French Revolution happened in France during the period of 1789 to 1799, during the course of which there was a total of 4 constitutions written. Yes or no? One was in 1791, second was in 1793, third constitution was written in 1795, and fourth constitution was written in 1799. Okay, so during this particular French Revolution course, people started coming to the streets, and people started sieging a fort called as Bastille Fort, which was one of an important event during the course of your French Revolution. So to mark this particular day, France has invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit France as a guest during this particular occasion. Okay, so what this Bastille Day parade is, since when this particular day is celebrated as National Day, since which year, and on what date is mentioned in this particular page. Okay, so the Bastille Day parade is also known as 14th July Military Parade. It is also called as 14th July Military Parade. It is a French military parade that has been held every year on the day of 14th July, on the early morning of 14th July, and it has been celebrated since 1880. It has been celebrated since 1880. Okay, this is also one of the oldest military parades in the world. That one particular point is given, and the day is July 17. As I told you earlier, Bastille Day siege was done by the people of France as a beginning of their during the course of their French Revolution on one early day morning. Okay, uh, so this day is marked as the National Day of France also. This day is marked as the National Day of France also. And from the Indian side, Indian Navy participated on behalf of all the three services, Navy, Army, and Air Force. On behalf of all these three, Indian Navy participated on this Bastille Day parade on 14th July 2023. So who participated? There are a few personalities given in this particular points. Please go through the point. Uh, Commander Virat Bahel, along with 4 officers and 64 sailors. 64 sailors are nothing but they are also your Navy officer, but a sailor rank. Okay, so these people participated. Commander Virat Bahel, 4 officers and 64 sailors. Okay, might as well Lieutenant Commander Disha Amrit, who led the Indian Navy contingent in Republic Day 2023 parade. He also participated in this event. One naval ship called as INS Chennai. INS Chennai was also recently in news in January month, because in your Arabian Sea off the coast of Somalia, Somalian pirates actually took control of one cargo vessel. So INS Chennai, which was patrolling your Arabian Sea, was immediately given information, and INS Chennai was deployed to take over the situation. And that particular hostile situation was successfully taken care of by INS Chennai. That also is one reason for which this particular article is important. So INS Chennai also participated in this Bastille Day parade, which took place in France. Okay, so what INS Chennai is given in this particular point to go through it. So this particular event will also signify the capabilities, the shipbuilding capabilities that have contributed to the Navy modernization, with indigenous construction of aircraft carriers, destroyers, frigates, and nuclear submarines. I told you what a frigate is, and I hope we all know what a nuclear submarine is. Okay, so uh, India and France, we have already seen bilateral exercise. maritime exercise. Now again, this particular point paragraph deals with what all areas we India and France collaborate with each other. Okay, so 2023 actually marks the 25th anniversary of India and France strategic partnership. Okay, especially maritime partnership. So there is one another naval exercise called as exercise Varuna between India and France. Exercise Varuna between India and France, which was actually initiated in the year 1993, but it actually came into force in the year 2001 only. Okay, it came into force in the 2001 only, and since then every year this particular bilateral maritime exercise is being conducted between both the countries. Okay, so there is one another project called as Project 75 of India. Okay, please get to know what Project 75 is and write down in the comment section. So Project 75 of India, there is one component to construct six Scorpion class submarines. Scorpion class submarines. So what is a submarine? That particular point we should know right now. Six Scorpion classes. It is a technology which was developed by France, and through technology transfer, India is trying to develop six submarines on total. Okay. So what are the names? What are the names of all these six submarines? Please write down in the comment section. INS Vela, Vagir, Vakshir, Karanj. So these are few names of the submarines. Please write down in the comment section what are the six submarines which India tries to build up, construct under its Project 75. Okay.